Did he really just say that? In today's video, we're going to break down how we're seeing a transition in the lack of dominance in the US currency. And they're saying something interesting about Bitcoin. So some of it's going to be facts, figures, numbers, logic. And some of us, we're going to have to use our imagination. My name is Coach JB. What I work to do is I work to make the complex simple. We've helped over 7,000 warriors worldwide since 2020 really come into a like-minded community and provide them education on how to transition into this new brave world and this new economic system, with the foundation being mindset. We also help people with the infinity banking concept and how to ensure, compound, and grow your wealth. So in the description of this video on YouTube, you can set up a free consultation with our team or join our Warrior Academy to get in the game. If you're watching on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram, it's going to be in the bio here. We will never, ever proactively DM you. We do not invest people's money. Those are all scammers in the comments and proactively reaching out to you. We do not have an investment platform. Please use discernment. Okay. All right. So let's dive right into this today. I want to provide you some education. Some of this is going to be fun. Okay. Today's video, I want you to put your tinfoil hat on the back end, but the front end, I'm going to show you facts, figures, numbers, logic. So if you have not subscribed to Sansbury Research, I highly recommend it. Danielle Cambone has some amazing content. Absolutely love her content. She reminds me of like the Joe Rogan of the financial space. She has different points back and forth, or different, what would it call, different viewpoints, right? And she comes out, it seems like, a very unbiased, in my opinion. She just brings different types of people, people who love Bitcoin, people who hate Bitcoin, people who like gold, people who don't like gold, people from different countries. It's really interesting the way that she looks at it. So this is Dr. Doom, but he says something powerful about the dominance of the US dollar. And then on the back end of this video, he says something about Bitcoin that also somebody else said who's heavily influential in the financial space around Bitcoin. What I'm going to show you after this is the facts, figures, numbers, logic on what he says about this. And then I'm going to show you the pie in the sky, tinfoil hat view of what they're saying about the other thing. So pay attention. So get your pen and paper out and let's get educated today.
What is the change now that would see the death of the dollar? The main change?
Well, I tell you, I mean, first of all, if you have a global currency like the US dollar was, a reserve currency, a lot of it depends on confidence and on prestige. If you travel internationally, the US may be better liked than the Chinese and the Russians, but the prestige of the US has diminished a lot. I mean, I see it here in Thailand. They had recently elections, and a candidate who had been educated in England and at Harvard, he won the most votes.
Okay, so he goes into a rant around that piece, but I want you to hear what he said. This gentleman travels all around the world, and basically what's happening globally, and I meet with people all over the world too with our Warrior Academy. The US dominance and the perception and the prestige is just getting smashed. Remember, the US dollar is fake. It's fiat currency. Currency is fake. Okay. The only value it has is our belief in it. So we are transitioning. Now, it doesn't mean the dollar is going to collapse tomorrow. It doesn't mean your bank account's going to go to zero. It's a transition. You have time, but you're running out of time, if you know what I mean, right? So 10 years is a short timeline. But if you do this correctly, you can transform your family's wealth timeline. Okay. So we're going to go back to the Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. So if you look at it, we're in large debts, printing of money, international conflict, loss of reserve currency, weak leadership, civil war, and revolution. Tomorrow, I'm going to be diving into a little bit about how America, as I predicted, America is most likely going to be probably going to war with China. And that's going to be the number 17 and 18, which is going to make the US less dominant. Okay. So let's look at the facts, figures, numbers, logic. So that's what he said, but this is off the Congressional Reserve Services website. Okay. This is our government's website. It says challenges to the US dollar and global role. Historically, shifts from dominant international currency to another occur over many years, which is true, which I'm saying. For example, in the 20th century, the US dollar replaced the British pound sterling as the dominant international currency over many decades, including 2 world wars and the Great Depression. After the United States took over the United Kingdom as the world's largest economic exporter, the US dollar has persisted over 7 decades as the world's dominant reserve currency. That's key, guys. Every fiat currency has collapsed in history. It's about a 100-year time span through a number of major shifts, including the collapse of the fixed exchange rate, trade and financial globalization, technological development, and geopolitical changes. This is key right here. Some observers have speculated whether changes in the global economy, we're going through a massive change in our global economy, a geopolitical shift, exactly what Ray Dalio talks about, could cause a shift from the dollar to another currency. Focus in particular in centered on China's economic rise, what they're rising economically right now, US sanctions, and digital currencies. Every single thing right now is happening in their statement. Every single thing. Yes, we're in a transition of the dollar losing its dominance. US dollar share of global foreign reserve exchange drops 25-year low. This is in 2021. The share of US dollar reserves held by the central banks fell to 59%, its lowest level in 25 years. And if you dive into this, I've showed you guys. Now, this is the key factor. Take out your pen and paper, write down BRICS, okay? BRICS was created in 2009 at the exact same time Bitcoin's inception was created. In recent years, the BRICS countries, which include Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now Saudi Arabia is working to get in there, have been moving away from the US-dominated global financial system. The bloc has already taken its first steps towards creating a new currency by shifting to trade national currencies. Deputy Chairman of the Russian State Duma, Alex Babaks, I can't pronounce that, has announced that Alliance is working towards the circulation of a new currency, which would be a digital or any other form. I don't know how many facts, figures, numbers, logic I can show the public, but as Jesus said, you can't preach in your own village, right? You just can't. People won't listen. I'm showing you from every single angle that we're moving to a digital currency. It will be a bag of currency. It'll be regulated by a bag. The US won't be the dominant currency anymore in the next 10 years. And basically, we'll be moving to a digital currency, a central bank digital currency. And your job is to navigate through the system, invest in the innovative technologies. Once it goes up, because crypto's fake money too. Your bank account money is fake money. It's your dollar's fake money. Is to get it out into things like insurance. That's what we teach people. Precious metals, real estate, businesses, things that are tangible, guys. You use these crypto markets, the stock markets, as speculative markets to gain larger profits, to secure your family's wealth. Okay, so now this is where we're going to put our tinfoil hat on. So let's put it on. Let's get our pen and paper out, but let's show some facts, figures, numbers, logic with the tinfoil hat. So now he's going to talk about cryptocurrency. And I love what he says. He says, I'm not telling you to get in, but I'm not telling you not to, because he understands how radical this transformation is, how wealthy people can get. Listen to what he says.
The cryptocurrencies is an interesting phenomenon that arose because of excessive money printing by the Fed.
So that's key. Write that down. Cryptocurrencies arose because the excessive money printing by the Fed. Now remember, BlackRock was tapped by the Federal Reserve in 2008 after the big financial collapse. Bitcoin's inception was in 2009. The BRICS countries were created, or the BRICS was created in 2009, which is working to de-dollarize. So tinfoil hat. If these countries are working to de-dollarize, which the G20 together starts to dominate the global GDP of America, right? Maybe you would create something, tell people it was fraudulent, get set up in a new financial system, move your wealth into that new fraudulent or deemed fraudulent system, get the big bankers to tell you it's fraudulent in 2017. When you're ready to flip the system, tell everybody it's good to go. So I'm going to break down that narrative for you in just a moment.
Don't ever think that it was created by a poor fool in Australia called Satoshi. This is organized. I am sure the founders of Bitcoins are the same that founded the Federal Reserve in 1913. It's a new gimmick. But the Bitcoin is now an established type of a currency. And I would not encourage people not to hold it, and I don't encourage them to hold it. I prefer precious metals. But if I talk to someone who is 25 years old, he thinks I'm a relic, that I'm a dinosaur, which is true. But young people are more interested in speculating in cryptos than in precious metals.
Okay, so hear what he said. He said Bitcoin was created, but he thinks it's created by the same people that created the Federal Reserve. Okay, think about that for just a moment. Tax code 7702, I believe, was created in 1913, which is the tax code we use to insure our wealth. Bitcoin's inception came in 2009 when the BRICS countries were created. We knew the BRICS countries were going to break off and work to de-dollarize. Okay, well, let's go into some more facts, figures, numbers, logic. So we're going into the history of Bitcoin. My logical circuit was kicking in. How Bitcoin started. Bitcoin was first cryptocurrency created and is now the most valuable and well-known. It was first launched in January 2009. Okay, here we go. The BRICS countries started in January 2009. They're working to de-dollarize, okay? And it says right here, the deadline for the ruling for ARK's application for Bitcoin ETF is near. So now we're getting into this race for the Bitcoin ETF. Fidelity joins the rush for Bitcoin ETF following the BlackRock ARK investment. Okay, this is where the tinfoil hat really comes on right here. This is really neat. This is fun, okay? But this is in front of the CIA building. It's called Kryptos. It's with a K, K-R-Y-P-T-O-S sculpture. This has never been solved before. This sits in front of the CIA building. Now, this is just totally pie in the sky, having fun with it, okay? This is a Kryptos, K-R, or right here, however you spell that, I have dyslexia. So if you go right here, this right here in front of the building has never been solved all the way. Think about that for just a moment. Are they playing with us? I don't know, but let's listen to what another very, very wealthy man says about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And a microsecond, whoop, like that. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Okay. So what does this mean? What does this mean? This is how I do my investing. I pretend we're all being played. And I have felt this way. You can watch my videos back in 2020. That's why I don't get emotional. That's why I don't get into tribalism. That's why I don't get into left and right. I focused on God as my president, CEO. I'm the president, CEO of my life, right? God's my guide. I follow the life of Jesus. That's my playbook. And I focus on understanding that it's nothing new under the sun. So what if our own government structure created Bitcoin? Because they knew that after the 2008 financial crisis, we were effed. They tapped BlackRock to balance out the markets. The Federal Reserve did. The Federal Reserve that was created in 1913 to protect us, to protect the job markets, to protect the money flows, right? In 1971, they made our money fake. They've been in a low interest rate environment for a very long time. In 2012, they got everything set up for this moment in time. So from 2009 to 2017, they made you think cryptocurrency is a fraud, but we have this thing called Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto. They have all this technology, all this innovation, all this ability to search and monitor you, but they cannot figure out who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Think about that for just a moment. Think about that for just a moment. So what if, because Jamie Dimon told you that Bitcoin is fraudulent, BlackRock, Larry Fink told you that it's used for money laundering, into same timeline, 2017. And now here we are in 2023. JP Morgan has their own blockchain technology. BlackRock is getting into the Bitcoin ETF space. So what if they created it? What if they created a problem, created a reaction, then they come up with a solution? So take your tinfoil hat off and take a deep breath. Money is a frequency. Money is energy. So instead of fighting an invisible enemy and saying, I'm not going to operate in a CBDC. You're not going to have a choice, guys. I'm not supporting this. I'm not for or against this. What I'm working to do is to understand where this money flow is going and why it's flowing that way. The fact is, if you gave $1 million to every single person in society, Jim Rohn says, it'll end up back in the same 1%'s hands. Because what they keep you focused on is disconnected from the ether, which is your nervous system. And you're trading time for money. You don't have time to pay attention. And people don't understand that it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't rewire the foundation, they know you will end up in the same situation. That's why they don't allow financial education. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Remember, I will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. We do not have an investment platform. We have an education platform. We've helped like-minded individuals transition into this new brave world through education, mindset, the 5 pillars of wealth. And we also have the ability where you set up a free consultation with my licensed insurance team to help you understand how to retire tax-free. And we have many other options to help you as well. It's a conversation to see where you're at, figure out your retirement number, and back into that and get you on track. We love you guys. We appreciate you. That'll be in the description of my social media or down the description of the YouTube video. Warriors, rise. See you soon.